notes and minutes and all that.
About that time, right? Well, we got 4 minutes.
Hello, everybody.
Oh,
Hello, Joe.
hey, Joe.
Mary Pat.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello. Where is everybody? I only see the person talking.
We're almost all here.
How come I can't see everybody?
I don't know.
It flashes person to person. I don't like that. I have a seizure.
You might want to talk to your IT administrator about that one.
He's not here. He doesn't know what my computer's doing.
Are you on your computer or your phone, Mom?
I'm on my computer right now. I don't know if I actually disconnected from I must have disconnected from my phone.
It's actually a very nice evening out here.
I'm looking forward to a walk after this.
Dale, by the way.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you see this?
I cannot. You're a green screen right now.
Why?
Your
No,
video
you're a
is
green
not
screen.
on.
I apologize.
What? I turned my video on.
No, it's
Right, it's
Wow.
coming
There
on.
it is. There you go, Dale.
there you are.
This is what you get.
Hey.
Oh, mead. Yeah.
I always need something for these meetings.
Green Party disaffiliated their Georgia affiliate. I just saw this.
Sound
that
sucks
Will?
again. Am I muted? He muted me.
You're not muted.
I got a little phone with a, oh, that's a disconnect button. Never mind.
I just muted myself because a loud motorcycle was going by.
Okay, yeah. Bill's voice isn't synced with his mouth.
Did you hear me just say the Green Party disaffiliated their Georgia affiliate?
They did what?
They disaffiliated Georgia.
Green
Why?
Party did? Why?
The first paragraph is the Accreditation Committee asserts that the Georgia Green Party has established a pattern of undemocratic actions that violate the key value of grassroots democracy, as well as exhibiting bigoted, anti-transgender positions that violate the key value of social justice and equal opportunity. Therefore, the Georgia Green Party is not organized or run in accordance with these values and is in violation of the GPUS accreditation requirements.
That's a bummer.
I thought almost everybody was here. There's only 6 of us out of 10.
7. Dylan's with Amy.
Oh, okay. Hi, Dylan.
We'll give it another. It's like 6:59. Give it another minute. And hey, that gives us less competition in Georgia, as far as I'm concerned.
Exactly. Maybe they might become some libertarians. Possibly, hopefully, maybe. You can wish, right?
We can only hope, Dale.
Here you go,
Hey,
Joe.
people.
Thanks.
I tagged the 3 missing people in the state board chat. We'll see if they show up.
Okay. Oh, there's Brandy.
Hi, sorry.
Hey, Brandy,
Hey.
joining us from Indiana.
Nice.
I'm going on my phone because this sucks.
It's Indiana, Brandy.
So, do we need a motion for this meeting, or do we just go?
We do need a motion.
I might have to go inside. Like every noise possible is happening out here tonight.
Murphy's Law, my friend. There's 1, 2. So we've got 8 folks.
The Libertarian Party is in favor of repealing Murphy's Law.
Oh, I see 6, 8, 7.
7. We have a quorum.
I see 8. Jimmy
Somebody
and
wanna-
who else is missing?
Jimmy and Dave are
Jimmy and Dave.
Yeah. Anybody want to make a motion to get started?
No.
I'll make-
Second.
Okay. Then we have a meeting.
quorum call, Mr.
So,
Chair.
Don't we have to vote on it?
Quorum call,
I don't
Mr.
think
Chair.
so.
No, okay.
Quorum call.
Okay. Dale, you want to do a quorum call?
I will gladly do a quorum call. So let's see. Bill Hines,
Present.
Amy Lepore,
Present.
okay. Dale Thomas, present. Mary Pat McVeigh,
Present.
okay. Dave Casey,
Present.
Casey, are you there?
Yes. Good. Present. I heard him.
Good to have you, Dave. Thanks. Dylan Griffith,
Present.
Will McVeigh,
Present.
Brandy Kirchhoff. Let's see. Jimmy Brittingham is not here. Joe DiPasquale.
Present.
Will,
All right,
is he flying or is he not around?
I don't know.
I just shot Jimmy a text.
Thank you, Joe.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
Of course.
So we've
Okay.
got 9 out of 10 members here, Mr. Chair.
Sounds like a quorum to me. So I guess we can call the meeting to order now. And has everybody seen the July agenda,
I have.
which I posted to the state board channel last week? Or
Yes,
later
sir.
last week? So do we have to vote to accept the agenda? Is that what it is? Adopt it?
Can you give me a minute so I can pull it up?
Sure.
I'm trying to do too.
In particular, I would like to share it on screen.
Sure.
I couldn't read it on my phone if I tried.
I'm watching a balloon go over my house.
It's cool.
A helium balloon or a hot air balloon?
Yeah, hot air.
No, hot air.
Okay.
Nice.
So why didn't it open?
It's a Word doc. Maybe your phone
It
doesn't
might be
like
under your,
Word.
Mary Pat, it might be under your downloads.
I just tried to find my downloads and nothing's showing. And then I opened it. I hit open file. Maybe it wasn't finished. I hit open file, but nothing's coming.
Are you going to share it, Will, or?
I'm working on it.
I can share it if need be. No, will beat me to it.
Where is it? Watch stream.
Okay. Whenever we're ready.
All I see is watch stream.
You have to click on that.
And I get a blank screen.
I don't think he's actually sharing it yet. I'm not seeing it either.
Me either.
Well, I don't know why it won't open when I say open download.
I'm supposed to be. I don't know what's going on here?
Oh, wait, is that it? Okay, I found it.
Oh.
I thought there was something else I was going to do today.
I probably should have restarted Discord before I tried this.
Well, I can share it or Dale can. Either one of us.
Yeah, that's
I've got
fine.
it I've got it on my computer now.
Well, I think somebody should share it regardless so that it's on the stream.
Do you want to share, Dale, Mr. Secretary?
I will do my best, yes, sir. All right, share to your screen.
Am I still on there? Yeah.
See what I'm sharing?
All right, something's weird with Discord. I'm not seeing screen shares tonight.
Yeah, I see two things that are supposed to be screen share, and I see neither one. They're blank.
So something's weird.
My computer's loading. Dale's, Will's was blank.
Yeah, mine's blank. It's showing up blank in Discord when I try to monitor it too. I'm not sure why.
Yeah, and I'm just getting like a loading icon on Dale's.
Yeah, me too.
That's all I got.
I just see Dale. Dale's.
All I see is loading on Dale's and a blank screen on Will's. Will's is gone now.
All right, I'll try one chime on mine, see what happens.
Who's that?
Bill.
Oh, Bill said that.
How's mine? Anybody see it?
Nope, it just says watch stream.
You got to click on
That's
that.
weird.
No word from Jimmy? Joe?
No, I haven't heard from him. But I did text him.
All right, this is kind of weird. I don't know what's going on. I hate to see us get held up here.
I've got it on my computer screen, so I can read it.
Okay. Anybody else caring about we're not sharing the minutes at the moment, or the agenda, I should say?
I'll keep messing with it, but yeah, I think we can move on.
All right. For the benefit of anybody who is not able to see the agenda, Dale, you want to read through it real quick?
I'd be more than happy to.
Okay.
Motion to meet, which made the motion to, and I seconded. We did roll call to determine quorum. We have 9 people present. The only one missing is Jimmy, whom Joe has sent a text to. Call to order, which was done at 19:03 Eastern Daylight Time. Approve the agenda, which is what we're on now. Reading and approval of the minutes is item 5. Item 6 is LTD board status. Sub-item A, statewide membership status. Sub-item B, statewide fundraising. Sub-item BI, approved services banks. Sub-item C, LP national activities. Sub-item D, other activities. Sub-item DI, approved fund for Discord bot and cloud. Item 7, county updates. Sub-item 7A, it's Kent County Libertarian Party. Sub-item 7A is Newcastle County Libertarian Party. And sub-item 7 is Sussex County Libertarian Party. Item 8 is AOA bylaws, with sub-item 8A being review of proposed amendments. Item 9 is review specific officer roles and responsibilities, with item 9A being webmaster and item 9B being treasurer and item 9C being secretary. Item 10 is social media policy framework discussion, with item 10A being update Facebook group moderators to current board. Item 11, announcements and upcoming events, and item 12 is adjournment.
Thank you, Dale.
You're welcome, sir.
Okay, so can we get approval of the minutes now?
That was the agenda.
The agenda.
The agenda. Sorry about that.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
I'll second.
Okay, great. We need you want to just take a verbal vote? Aye.
No, we have to record all votes.
Or yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, well, let's record the vote.
So why don't you start with yourself, Mr. Chair, and then go down
All
the
right,
line.
I'll vote aye.
Go ahead with the vice chair, then the secretary treasurer, then the county chairs and their representatives, please, Mr. Chair.
Amy?
Vote aye. Aye.
Okay, that was Amy.
Was.
Okay, I will also vote aye.
Hi.
Who was that, please?
You gave us an order. It's me, Mary Pat.
Okay, just making sure. Mary Pat said aye. Okay. It's Casey.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Dylan Griffith.
Aye.
Will McVeigh.
Aye.
Brandy Kirchhoff.
Aye.
Let's see. Joe DePasquale.
Aye, and I got an update on Jimmy. He's still working, so he will not be able to join us.
Okay, thank you for that.
Anytime.
All right, Mr. Chair, we're on item 5, reading and approval of the minutes.
Okay, so you just today got the minutes out to us.
I did, and I apologize.
Okay, does anybody need to read the minutes, or would you like Dale to read the minutes?
Yeah, hang on, let me read them real quick.
Okay. We'll give that a couple minutes.
Sorry, I should have read it before. My bad.
That's all right.
No, and I got them out really late, and I apologize. So.
And I had a weird, crappy day at work. My car broke down at work, so it was great.
No.
Oh, it's all good. It's fine, but it was just a long day.
Yeah.
I haven't had a chance to read them either because I didn't get them. I didn't realize they were posted until about 15 minutes ago or 15 minutes before the meeting.
Yeah, I sent out an email and posted them, but I did it about an hour prior to the meeting. So that's,
And I didn't have my phone on me. I was eating dinner, so I don't look at my phone while I'm eating.
It's a good thing.
Mary Pat, that's a practice that I wish I could get back into, but it's not going to happen.
I need to get back to it.
Well, it's partly because I'm usually watching TV.
Oh, well.
So I guess I have to read the minutes.
And if there's any questions on the minutes that anybody has, just let me know. So.
I'm still reading.
Okay. Take your time. Speaking of minutes, while Mary Pat and anybody else is doing that, Will, where will you save the video of this, the recording of this?
It is streaming to YouTube, and YouTube saves it.
Thank you. And so it's just on our LPD YouTube page, correct?
Yes, sir. The
Okay, thank you.
is in the state board chat right now.
Okay, great.
And I don't think that link changes when the stream is done and it's just a regular video being posted at that point.
Okay.
But I will verify that.
All right, awesome. Thank you. So, Joe, you were able to get your car fixed?
He's reading.
No, I just finished reading, actually. It's not fixed right this second, but will be first thing tomorrow morning.
Cool.
I was like, I haven't replaced the battery since I bought the car, and I'm like 99% sure that's what it was. The AAA guy came by and jumped my car, and it started, but it died in a Royal Farms parking lot. So,
I have a correction already to the minutes.
All right, go ahead.
It's item 15C, the $827.94, which is $827.95 now, is not profits. It's what's left in the convention fund.
All right. So we have $827.94 in the convention fund.
Convention fund, not profits.
The convention fund.
Right.
And you changed the number to 95, right?
Because we got a penny interest.
Yeah.
Well, the 94 is accurate as of the
It was
minutes.
still 90. Yes, it was still
Yeah.
90 as of last month. Yes.
Okay.
So
So
I
it's
gotta love that interest.
Oh yeah, we're raking it in.
0.01%. So it's not in profits, it's in convention fund after costs of the 2021 convention.
right.
So
So
you make that update, right?
item 15C. Item 15C is now we have $827.94 in the convention fund from the 2021 convention.
After
Convention
paying off the convention, the 2021 convention. That's what's left after that.
Yeah.
You're paying off, okay. I will make that change.
Great. Okay. So with that amendment, can we get a motion to approve the
I
minutes?
just finished there. Can you give me a minute, please? I can't speed read.
Sure.
While she's reading, I'll be right back.
All right, sir. Yeah, I'm gonna let my dogs in the house. They want to go in.
All right, I'm done. But I'm glad I actually read them since I made that correction.
All right, thank you for that.
Is Joe back yet? No. Couch is just.
Are you done reading? Did you finish?
Yeah, I said I was done.
Oh, okay. Do you
Because
have any more?
I said I was glad I read it because I found that error.
Right. So are there any more
But
amendments to the minutes?
Joe's not back.
Right,
Joe's
but
not reviewed.
I understand that, but are there any more amendments that you have? Okay.
Not by me, no.
Joe already read them, so we'll give him a minute.
And this is my fault that we're taking so long, and I apologize. So I'll try and do a better job at getting them out in a more timely fashion.
Okay. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Joe, do you have any amendments to the minutes? Oh, there you are. Joe, do you have any amendments to the minutes you'd like to make?
No, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So, does anybody want to make a motion to approve the minutes?
All motion.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay. So, do we need to vote on that, or can we just do a?
No, we got to vote on it.
Everybody's vote has to be registered to approve the minutes.
For every vote, it was a change that was made earlier this year.
All votes by the state board have to be recorded as a roll call and published to the email list.
Some of them can be ridiculous, like this one, but okay.
All right. Bill,
Whose
how do you
amendment
vote?
was that? Who wrote that amendment?
What amendment?
To record all votes. We should probably
If we,
update that.
if we were in person or if it was that bot, we'd know who was voting what. We can count them easily then, but in person, a couple of us aren't actually on video.
Right.
Bill, how do you vote?
Aye.
Amy?
Aye.
I'll also vote aye. Mary Pat?
Aye. Aye. Said
Dave?
Aye.
Okay. Dylan?
Aye.
Okay. Will?
Aye.
Okay. Brandy?
Aye.
Okay. Joe?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. And Jimmy is absent. All right. But passes, Mr. Chair.
Great. So, next item on our agenda is the LPD board status, starting with our statewide membership. So, who's receiving our numbers from the state?
Nobody receives them. They're on the website.
Okay, has anybody looked at them? Do we have, let me ask you a different question. How was this done previously? Was this your
Somebody
job,
looked
Dale, to track that?
No. Usually Sean at our quarterly meetings would have it listed as to which counties went up in membership, which counties went down in membership, and it was usually listed overall, and then it was segmented by each counties whether they gained or lost.
So the chair was doing it. Okay.
Sure.
So I will do it in the future if that's the case. No big deal. Okay.
Okay, can I make a comment on that? Do we really need to address that specific thing every month, or can we do that at quarterly meetings?
Well, I think it's good to know, just to have a pulse of what the party's doing on a monthly basis.
Okay.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I'm looking at the numbers right now. The grand total for Libertarian Party as of Thursday, July 1st is 2,162.
Thank you.
The Mandalorians have 4, by the way. We're on the report now.
Okay, but we're not going to count their votes or their membership right now. That's interesting. All right. Thank you for that number. Statewide fundraising. How are we doing with income or donations this month?
The PayPal is just the same ones we've had all along. No new monthly donors.
And how much is that? Is that something you need time to put together, or do you have like a ballpark number?
Well,
It's about 150, isn't it?
about $150 by the time you take away the fees. Actually, I take that back. It's only $105. It's about $100 now. Somebody withdrew their monthly donation.
And who was that?
I'm not gonna reveal donors.
You're not revealing donors to the board?
It will, yes, but I feel like if they want to publicize it, they can, or you can find it in the campaign finance at the end of the year.
So you're not telling your own board who our donors are?
Not
Right.
really, no.
And you've never done that before? Like, it's always been a secret to the board?
Yes, it is. It's not a secret. You can see it at the campaign finance at the end of the year, but
Secret as in you don't want to share. That's a secret, right?
well, like I said, it's available at the end of the year on campaign finance if they donate more than $100 in the year.
Mr. Chair, I don't think it's inappropriate to keep our donor information private. This is not just the board here. This is the entire stream.
Okay.
If
Well,
the treasurer would care to disclose who may have withdrawn their monthly donation in a private session, I think that would be appropriate. But on a stream, I think that she's doing a service to the donors by not publicizing their information or when or why they chose to.
okay, that's fair in a public stream. I'll accept that. So I'd like to make a motion to have a meeting with the executive board to go over who our donors are and what their posture is. Dale?
Okay.
What do you mean what their posture is?
In other words, who's donating what? I'd like to know who our donors are
Why?
so that we can thank them, number one.
I do when they sign up for a donation, I send them a letter. I email them a thank you. I've done it with every donation. I don't know if I did it religiously with all the convention donations, but I do it with people that sign up for a monthly donation.
Mr. Chair, can I suggest that we just handle this in the private session on the Discord once we're done here? We can
Yes.
just have an accounting of who the donors are and what they're donating per month.
Okay, thank you.
I would really prefer to clear with the donors that they don't mind that I reveal their names.
Well,
Are you the ambassador to the donors?
I feel I am, yes.
I don't think that's the way that it should work.
well, yeah, I mean,
Well,
you have fiduciary responsibility. We don't have to argue about this now. We'll
Yeah,
let this
I'm
go
gonna
forward.
orders of the day. We can have this conversation later.
Yes. Okay. So the next item on the agenda, we'll drop that for now, with the notice that we're going to follow it up in a private session. The approving banking with citizens. So we talked about this at the Kent meeting. Do we need to take a vote to go ahead and actually open an account with citizens?
I don't believe that we do. That's traditionally been within the purview of the treasurer and her responsibilities to determine what our arrangements are.
Yeah, when we started getting charged fees at the last bank we banked at, I just on my own found a bank that did not charge us a bunch of fees and moved the money. Nobody questioned it. Nobody, I told everybody what I was doing, and that was fine. I am considering, when I saw this on the agenda, I thought, well, before I go to all the trouble to find out if I can do it, if we have to approve it, but I was going to go talk to Citizen because they will take Zelle.
Right.
Versus Dover Union does not. So if you want me to go check out, if that's whatever the board wants, I will go check out with Citizen and find out if we can open an account. It will probably be like a secondary account with Dover still being the primary one because I have a good relationship with them. But I can do that if that's what you guys want me to do.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
my suggestion would be that if the board actually has a problem with the way that the finances are being managed, at that point we can raise an issue and have a motion about it. But unless there's a problem, I think that we can leave it to the.
Well, we do have a problem, but I think our treasurer is addressing it, so I think we're okay. The problem
What's the problem?
The problem is we're being charged by PayPal for all donations, and we have to find an alternative, which you're doing. So I just wanted to make sure that, we were doing it right. That's all.
Well, yeah, and I was going to go talk to them earlier, but then when I saw that it says approve banking with Citizens Bank, I thought if the board feels like I need approval to do that, I'll wait till I get the board's approval. So I will do it next week.
Right, and I'm going to say I put this on the agenda because everything I thought, based on some of the recent events that have happened here with us, that everything has to be approved by the board as a whole. Nobody does any work without doing that. That seems to be what I'm being told, right?
That's not necessarily the case. It's more if the board wants to override decisions that are already within the purview of the.
I mean, I'm not.
you
I'm
broke
not.
up on me there, Will. I didn't hear hardly anything you said.
I said if the board wants to override something that somebody's doing, then they could make a motion to do that and make that the policy of the board that they have to do that. But if there's no specific policy that says we have to bank at Dover Federal, then we don't have to change the policy to say bank at Citizens or bank at PNC or bank wherever else.
As long as I'm not spending money or paying for fees, that was my only issue. Then you would have to approve it. But as of right now, there are no fees as long as I maintain a minimum balance in checking, and I have to maintain at least $5 in savings.
Okay. And that's what well, yeah, I wasn't worried about that. I was more worried about, getting the second bank so that we can start taking Zelle as a donation method with just an email address, which will make it easier for everybody.
Yeah, and that makes perfect sense to me.
Okay, great. All right.
Point of information, I guess. I think it's a point of information. Do we have ability to do it through Venmo too?
We do not have a Venmo account. I don't know how. Somebody could probably help me set up a Venmo account because I already have a link for my personal Venmo account to Dover, and I'm sure I could link that to Dover too. So I could set up a separate Venmo account. That would be fine with me.
Okay.
You cut out there at the end, but I think I think I agree with you. I might be able to help you out if nobody else can.
Okay.
Great. That's great, Joe. Thank you for that.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. Well, then, do we have anything else on this item?
A point of information, was that an action item that Joe's going to help Mary Pat set up Venmo?
Only if she reaches out and needs it.
Yeah.
I would say I offered to try to help set up a Venmo. I can't guarantee that I will actually be able to do so.
Well, I'll tell you, Joe, if I haven't succeeded in doing it by a week from Wednesday when I come down for the Sussex meetings, I will hunt you down.
Great.
You won't have to hunt too far. I'll be there.
Good. Next table, maybe.
Yep, exactly.
Okay. So moving on to the next item, LP national activities. There's one thing, an email came to me, which I was trying, there's no good link in it because it goes to an email address. But here's the thing. This year is the LP's 50th anniversary. The LNC has asked states to put together auction baskets valued at anywhere from $100 to $500 to donate to the 50th anniversary event. It should be something that is to Colorado by the end of August. I think it's like August 25th it has to be there. I would check with Susan to make sure that. Actually, I might have the email somewhere. So that's something for us to consider. Do we want to put together a Delaware basket to send out to the 50th anniversary gala?
What would you put from Delaware in a basket?
Peaches? I don't know.
Peach? Joe Biden memorabilia?
Amazon, no, from Delaware it would be Amazon gift cards.
Crab?
Mr. Chair.
I don't know. Crab cakes?
Crab comes from Maryland, and Amazon is everywhere.
Mr. Chair.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
Can I request that you firm up the details on when this needs to be decided by, when this needs to be sent out by or received by or whatever, and we can have a discussion offline about what we want to do and whether we want to contribute any state funding to make sure that happens.
Sure.
Do we want to state do that, or are people donating individual things?
I would assume that we're going to have a little bit of both, but my point is that if we do need to have some sort of state funding to make sure that something happens, that's what we decide we want to do, that we have an opportunity to do that.
So let me ask this question. Is there any interest by anybody on the state board to form a basket committee? It'll be a very short-lived committee, but just a basket committee to, be gathering it and putting it together as we go through it.
I don't necessarily want to be on a committee for it, but I will gladly donate $25.
Yeah, I'm actually with Joe. I'm not interested in a committee, but I am happy to donate money or to do the shopping for it and put it together. together and make sure it gets sent off.
I agree, 100%.
Yeah.
Thank you, Amy.
Absolutely.
We could send them like a 6-pack of
Dogfish head?
Dogfish Head or like the Fordham sodas.
That's a good
Hey,
idea.
Dogfish Head just got bought by Sam Adams, which is a Boston company. I don't know if we want to send them the wrong vibe or not.
Got Blue Laurel in Smyrna still.
Well, either way, I don't.
Somebody in Maryland too.
Mr. Chair, again, my suggestion is that you firm up the dates from the email that you got so that we know exactly what kind of dates we're working with here, and then if we want to, make a motion for some funding for that, we can do that offline. Async.
Okay.
And also,
And if people want to contribute stuff, we can do that. We can put that up, put the word out, and let the members get involved if they want to, rather than forming an official committee for it. I don't think. Let me put it this way: I don't want Dale to have to write in the minutes that we formed a basket committee and we're working real hard.
Right. Okay.
And if we decide we want to send something that's alcoholic, like from Piccadilly or something, I found out that we can mail wine from Maryland.
Yep.
So I'm going to use a friend's return address, so I can use it if we do something else like that.
Okay. Another item, Dale. Do we have a state board email list that we could reference, or will? Like, is there like an email list, state board at lpdelaware.org that
I have a state board list as secretary for LPD that I use. I actually use today as one of the ways to send out the minutes to everybody. And if you need it, I can print that up and send it to everybody. Or easier yet, if you check all of your emails, I put everybody's email in the to line. So
okay.
You have everybody's email, my secretary email.
I guess what I'm asking, we don't have a state board distribution list that
We do, Mr. Chair. We have lpdelaware at googlegroups.com is the email list that is officially tracking the votes and everything. So like when there's a vote that needs to be reported through email, that goes to that group and that gets preserved on the list so that it can be browsed through by the public, and it goes to all members of the state board.
So it goes to everybody that subscribes to it, or just the state board?
It's a public list, so anybody who wants to can join it.
Okay.
It goes to all of those people, but the ones who can actually contribute to it and send mail to it are members of the state board exclusively.
Would you mind putting that in the state board chat just so I don't forget it?
I will do that.
Thank you. Okay. All right, great. All right, so I'll give you more information on that. We have the regional training coming up in the end of July, beginning of August. I'm not going to be able to make that one. Is anybody from this group going to be able to make that training in Virginia? Just out of curiosity. I know, Will, you've expressed some interest in it.
I was going to try to go, but I have the closing night of my play that Saturday night, and then I'm supposed to be doing teardown on the set on Sunday, so I'm not going to be able to make it.
Okay.
And the main reason why I decided not to care that much about that problem is that there's going to be the one in New Jersey.
Right. There's going to be another one in October.
And I'd like to mention something about that, if I may. So speaking of the one in October, it is in Newark, New Jersey. It's going to be the weekend of October 9th and 10th. I did post something, I believe, in the state board chat about it. But if you have any questions, and we can certainly, since it seems like a bunch of us can't make the one in Virginia coming up, one in Newark is actually closer to us. Newark, excuse me. The one in Newark is physically closer to us, and we could easily. I don't mind driving a bunch of people, or if we want to rent a van or whatever. So road trips are fun.
Okay, and hotel rooms are expensive, so sharing a room is even a good idea up there.
Agreed.
Okay, great.
I'm definitely interested, and I just can't attend the one in Virginia. The one in October seems more likely for me, so if that's available, I'd like to try to attend. Can you remind me costs and everything like that for like what it costs to attend and all that jazz?
The training itself is free, isn't it?
I
The
think the
training
training
itself is free. Yeah.
So it's just transportation and
For some reason, I thought there was a fee involved, but I'm obviously mistaken. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you just have to sign up, and then the only cost is getting there. Finding a place to crash and food. So,
Yep.
but I do have the link. I'm you know what? Let me double check. Everybody will bear with me for just a moment.
no, that's fine. If you can take your time, Dale. If you have a link that you can you have my email. If you want to email it to me,
Yeah.
or whatever. I'm not concerned about seeing it right this second necessarily. Just I am interested in the one in October. So if possible, if that I can attend, I'd like to just know a little bit more details. That's all.
All right, I'll give myself an action item to get that done tonight.
You're the best.
Great. Okay. Excellent. Other activities. Will, do you have an estimated cost for the running the Discord bot in the cloud? What it would cost a month?
unfortunately, at this point, I do not. Based on previous usage, we were clocking in at around $25 a month, but that was for a web server that was purely responding to active requests. The bot
Okay.
takes up a lot more resources, so I've recently had to expand the VM because it kept.
Okay.
So it's going to take me a little bit to actually figure out what the regular monthly expenses are on that. But if I had to guess, and this is just a guess at this point, I would guess probably no more than $40 a month. That's a guess. I will have to wait so to see how that actually is locking in now that the resource demands have been updated.
Okay. So then we'll have to figure out if what we want to do with that once we get that number. Do we want to continue that or do something different? Okay.
Just
Can we
just
add
to,
it,
as
can we add
a
it
as
to the
a
agenda for next month?
yeah, I think we can add it to the agenda for next month because just so that everybody's aware, for one, we do have funding available that's been dedicated for that purpose already. And we are currently using another free trial, so we have about $200, I think, on that, and somewhere in the neighborhood of 40 days to use that, and that's in free credit. So it's not actually costing anybody anything right now, except for Google. And once that expires, there is funding available in a set-aside fund that's been raised specifically for that purpose. It's just that if we're going to commit to doing that, it's a good idea to have that being backstopped by general funds because if that money runs out, then it needs to shut down. And if we're going to rely on it like that, then we shouldn't.
Right.
And right now the $100, $30 of that is designated for social media, and so that leaves about
Well, hold
obviously
on.
$70.
Is
But
that designated for social media or is that designated for cloud hosting?
That was what was designated for social media, right? For the $30 a month from the
I
$100
thought
donation.
that was designated for the web app for cloud hosting.
Oh, you're right. Sorry, you're right. So if it's going to cost more, whatever, if that $100 a month goes away, if that person doesn't renew it at
Right.
the end of the year, then we're going to have to keep taking out of general funds. Now, we did show a profit of about $1,400 from the convention between the Day of Liberty and the convention itself. $600 and some from the convention, and I received $787 from Day of Liberty. We also are supposedly going to get more money from Pizza Deli whenever she can take a deep breath, but she's been very busy. She's still planning on getting together with Better Business Bureau, the
Chamber of Commerce.
Chamber of Commerce. Yeah, sorry, I kept thinking Better Business Bureau. Yeah, Chamber of Commerce, and presenting us a check. I don't know where that money's coming from, but I was down there last week with Dale, and she said she still plans on doing that, but she's been really busy, and she's got 2 family members that are very ill, so she doesn't have much time to take prep. So she still wants to do that, but I don't know when it'll be.
Okay. So we'll just put this one on hold until next month and revisit it. Okay. County updates. Now, in this section, I'd like each county chair just to give us an overview of what's going on in their county, if you don't mind. So we'll start with Ken. I did them in alphabetical order. Dale wanted to do them in order of size, but I like alphabets better.
No, I want to correct that point of order. It was order, geographic order from
North to south. Yes, that's right. South. Okay, which happens to coincide with sizing. But
It doesn't actually. Kent is smaller than Sussex.
Yeah.
really, that's
Yep.
surprising.
Kent is smaller than Newcastle.
That's news
Yeah.
to me. I thought Kent was bigger than us.
Nope.
As far as I'm,
All right,
There-
Kent
there
gets
are
to go
more
first
regis-
anyway. So you have
Okay.
to.
So we've had some decent attendance for the last couple months since the convention, and we passed some stuff that aligned with the resolutions Sussex passed regarding several pieces of legislation that are outstanding. And then this most recent meeting that we had last week, we spent working on the Articles of Association, made some good progress on that, but we have a couple more items that we're going to deal with next month that were tabled until next month, and that's pretty much all I have to report on that. Oh, except we did move locations. I think everybody's aware of that by now. We're no longer at the Pizza Delight by Giacomo on Route 8. We're now at McGlynn's as well, except not the one up north, obviously, the one down in Dover.
right, and it worked out very well this last month. We'll see how it goes for the next couple months, and hopefully we'll be able to stay there.
Yeah, that was a nice venue. Okay, anything else?
We started our own website. We're using a subdomain of the LP Delaware domain, .lpdelaware.org. That's up. It's got our meeting times and locations. It's got our officer contact info. It's got our minutes and stuff like that. I'm going to try to keep up with
And
that.
we're also going to work on a donate button on the
Yes.
website, either
Okay.
for PayPal or if they can do it through Zelle, however it works out.
Okay.
If we can do it, we'll offer them the option.
Yeah, that's good. And then is that website been socialized through social media already?
I don't remember how much I publicized it. I know I posted it on Discord. I don't know if I posted it on the Facebook yet. I need to.
Okay, great. And then I imagine, would you also post it into the LPD page that we have as a link?
I can do that if no one objects to me doing that.
No, I think we should. If any county has their own web page, we should probably have it linked to that main page, so that anybody who goes to the LP Delaware page can also see that there's.
Oh, you mean the web? Yes, the web page. I will add the links to the Newcastle and the Kent page to the state page.
Great.
Because I don't think Newcastle's on there yet either.
Okay. I guess anything else? Well,
no.
All right. Thank you, Dave.
So yeah, Newcastle County, we have been working really hard on our branding lately. We're trying to book an event every month so that we can go out and engage the community. So before the meeting today, I was down the street with Chris Velrath, who's on our team, a talented designer and animator. So we were doing some kind of working on, we're putting together like a 10 by 10 space with banner and matching literature and things of this sort. So coming up next week, we have Reggae Roots Festival. We're going to have a presence there, engage that community. It's going to be great. We're going to be doing weed stock in September. So that's, kind of heavy right there on the cannabis community, but that's great because those guys, that's our bread and butter, man. We can get in there really easily. So yeah, we're trying to make the presence that we put forth look really great. So this stuff will match our Facebook page and our Twitter and our Instagram that will be coming out, and it will look cool and current, and it will hopefully be engaging to people that walk by. So we're using the classic porcupine, but we kind of have a cool spin on that, an original cool little fierce, adorable porcupine. It's going to be kick-ass. So yeah, man, that's what we're doing. We're going to trying to put our branding together so we can look good, so we can go out and bring in people. That's what we're trying to do. And we just had an amazing first event. We raised hundreds of dollars selling burgers and hot dogs at Wheelie's, and that was great. People came out. It was hot as hell. But we had fun, and it was, that was just the first shot. We're going to do another one at the end of August, and that one we have a beer license that's going to be in the PM, and we are going to sell beer, so we are going to raise more money. So look out for that.
Hey, Dave, can you do me a favor? At the very beginning of that, you were cutting out. I think it was my connection. Thanks
No
to
worries.
MediaCom. The first event you guys did, or the first event you have organized before Weedstock. If I could get that, I'd love to. Can you send me the date or put the date somewhere on the Discord?
Absolutely. In fact, I think we have. We have that. We can absolutely do that. We'll send that your way, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
That's a two-day presence, I believe we'll have there, Saturday and Sunday.
This that works for me. If I can be there, I'd love to show up and help out.
Thank you, man.
Do you know off the top of your head what the actual dates are?
It's this coming Saturday and Sunday.
31st.
Weekend. Okay.
31st
For
and
the
the 1st.
reggae.
I'm sorry, what?
That's for the reggae one, right?
Yeah, that's Reggae Roots. That's in Middletown. It's going to be beautiful.
Well, if we're discussing it, what times? I mean, I can probably be available at least one of the days, and I'd love to help. Like I said, I'd love to help out. So, what do you have in mind for time?
I think Sunday is probably maybe the day that we could use the most help, if I'm not mistaken. I'll have to take a look at that.
So,
Okay, yeah, just send it to me or put it in the Discord, whatever. It's not a big deal. But I'd love to try to be there if I can.
Joe, I'm going to drop the link to the Facebook event in the state board channel right now. And I know that Carter Hill's working on, we use sign up in Newcastle County so that folks can sign up to attend the booth as you're referring to it in a specific time. So we can find out if there are any gaps, but you're still welcome to just come hang out even if there aren't.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Annie. I appreciate that.
We'll put that in there right now for you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Great. Okay, anything else, Dave?
No, I think that's it, man.
Cool. Well, thank you.
Pleasure.
All right. Well, Joe, you're the only representative from Sussex. So, anything going on down there we should be aware of?
Yeah, so last meeting we held an election for vice chair. Wendy Jones is our vice chair for Sussex. We didn't have one previously, so that's good to get another body on board and somebody who's going to be able to help out and everything like that. And then we also discussed a treasurer for the county, which we don't technically currently have, but we're working on.
No offense taken.
Yeah, that's why I said technically. So we are discussing a couple of people who might be interested in that. And then we also talked about the Apple Scrapple Festival coming up in October. We're going to have a booth there. We're going to have, Wi-Fi and things like that for people who want to come by, charge their phones, log on to some Wi-Fi, use the internet. So
Jimmy has a charging station there all the time.
Yep, he's going to have a charging station, and then I'm going to bring my work iPad, sponsored by good old Uncle Sherwin-Williams, for a Wi-Fi hotspot for people if they need to charge their phone, use the Wi-Fi, whatever. And that's October 9th that we're doing that. It's a Saturday.
That's the same weekend of the training.
Yeah.
It is. Well, I guess I'm not going to be at the training. Oh well, I'll figure something out. We discussed another adopt a highway cleanup. We're gonna move that to August because we didn't have a date set yet. And then, we had a few new members, 2 people that haven't. Well, I guess one guy showed up last month, but I wasn't able to be there. So it was good to meet him. And then we had somebody else show up that we haven't seen before. I forget his name, but he said he's going to be a regular. So I'll be able to get his name to you guys at the next meeting.
Great.
That's all I really have, unless you have any other questions.
No, that's great. Thank you. Appreciate the update.
Yeah, very welcome. Absolutely.
Okay. Moving right along, Dale.
sir.
I think we have AOA and bylaws.
Yep, that's correct. And review of proposed amendments.
Yep. So you want to take the lead on telling us what we have out there?
I will do my best. So, let's see here.
Amy can help you, I think, too.
And I would probably lean on her to do so. So we have a few things. First up is a proposed a PPG bylaw. I can't remember the name. Here, I'll bring it up. Hold on 1 second. Procedures and no, that's not it. Policies and procedures guide. There we go. So we have that to review. We also have let's see, amendments motion. I'm bringing that up. Amending Article 6 of our AOA. There's been discussion on that. Then the LPD social media messaging policy. Then the LPD IT director role. I believe those are the 4 things that we have. Am I missing anything, Amy or Bill?
We have
Madam Vice Chair, Madam. I'm sorry.
a series of items on the AOA report.
Was this actually posted somewhere outside of the LPD exec board, or that LPD, the whole board could see it, or it was just the exec board that it saw?
So the ones that are finished and ready for prime time to vote on in 30 days, Dale, I believe, posted to Facebook, right?
No, Amy posted it for.
Oh, Amy posted those to Facebook.
Yep.
And
I think if I understand your intent, we should be discussing changes tonight that have been given notification.
Yes.
Is that, so probably we should limit our conversation. If it's just being shopped around right now, right, and there are a couple of those things, that's one thing, but several things, there is no notification, plus there is an entire AOA report. Right?
You're right.
So I think we should probably limit our conversation to where notification has been given.
Correct. Okay, and thank you, Dale, for the overview. So the things we've given notification on are the amendment. Here, I don't want to mischaracterize. Do you want to speak on those, Amy? We have 2 out there, right?
So there's a couple of things.
Right.
So I know that Dale and I have worked on an amendment. An amendment to the AOA that would permit us to stand up committees and would permit us to, we have here codified their duties, composition, and reporting requirements. And then also, and then again, this is to amend the duties of the state board, the second amendment to establish departments, teams, and directorships, and then for the full state board to vote on the work to be done and on the folks to fill those roles.
Right.
And associated bylaw has been, there's been notification made for an associated bylaw where I cannot exceed 2 years. In addition to that, Carter Hill has given notification in the Facebook group of an additional, I'm going to say an AOA amendment as well.
Okay.
And that was Article 9, Section 1.
Okay, so starting with the Article 6, the Article 6 amendment, this one is establish standing or special committees to codify their duties, composition, and reporting requirements. 12, and Article 6, to be clear, is duties of the board, right?
Correct.
So adding an 11, which is establish standing or special committees and codify their duties, composition, and reporting requirements. 12 is establish department, teams, and directorships to perform work as authorized by the executive committee of the board and confirmed by the full state board. And then going along with both of those is a bylaw that says the state board may not enter into any contract exceeding 2 years or the remaining term of the board. the state chair or the secretary may sign approved contracts on behalf of the state board. Will had some discussion with wanting to change that language a little bit on the bylaw, but I think Dale put up a good defense of why that language should remain as it is. And the concern that Dale brought up is that an outgoing board could enter into a 2-year agreement that the incoming board would have to accept. Whereas if a contract terminates with the board, when a new board is assembled, then they can either renew a contract if they think it's still worthy, or they can simply let it expire, right? Did I catch all that?
I saw Will shaking his head. Is it not correct that an outgoing board could pass a 2-year agreement, sign it, and then it would have to stay if contracts aren't terminated?
No, I mean, it's theoretically possible that a contract could be written that way, but I think the state board would be flat out stupid not to give itself the opportunity to cancel a contract, even if it doesn't terminate automatically. So like, just because a new board has come in and maybe there's a contract that is still written to continue on for, another however many months, years, whatever, that doesn't mean that the board could not choose to affirmatively say we are canceling this contract. It just wouldn't automatically terminate, regardless of the board's intentions.
Right, and I think that's where I was coming from with keeping the wording as proposed, is that if it's understood that all contracts end with an outgoing board, then there can be no slip-ups as far as what's still valid as far as contracts are concerned and what's not. So, as you said, it is possible. But the board would have to be vigilant. This is kind of like a dummy switch, in the sense that once an outgoing board is done, then it would just reset. And this also works with any future changes we have trying to offset our elections, because any new members on the board would still constitute a brand new board, even if there's remaining members.
That just makes it even more sloppy. I mean, if we end up changing our elections around so the entire state board isn't being changed out on the exact same day, then, anytime a new member comes in or goes out, technically the term of the quote unquote board is over and all the contracts are terminated. And everything goes back to kind of a no man's land, basically, where, okay, well, what contracts do we need to get repassed and reauthorized so that people still have the authority that they need, and so that people still have the continuity. Like, I think that just it really does disrupt the continuity of the organization to say if there's a new state board, then every contract is immediately terminated. Like, that's a very sloppy and scattershot way to deal with the situation. I mean, if you say that it can't last longer than 2 years, then you actually got a full board term there. But it's not a default, as soon as the board changes hands, then all of a sudden every single contract is torn up. I mean, if the board affirmatively chooses when, new members come in or whatever to terminate a contract, they can still do that. There will be, it would be really stupid for the board to approve a contract that doesn't give them the option to do that. I don't think that would ever happen. I mean, if you want to codify that in some way, that the board needs to have an escape valve, a mechanism for terminating a contract, then, that would make sense. But to automatically terminate it just because the board is shifted around some, let's say, Brandy resigns and I need to get a new camp rep, or, Mary Pat resigns and we need a new treasurer. Like, that technically is the end of the board term, and now all the contracts are gone and we have to figure all that out again, as opposed to it being more organized. Like, okay, this contract lasts for 2 years. If we don't like the way it's being carried out at this point, we can terminate the contract and sign a new one, or when that 2 years expires, we can make the decision to renew at that point. But to just automatically have them all go away, I think, is incredibly disruptive to continuity.
All right, and I like the point that you brought up as far as the kill switch, and I would be fine, personally speaking, with a very clear and easy to use a kill switch. It's something that again, when I was saying change of the board, it was at the allotted times, and we could reword that to say that contracts end at elections. I
Which
did not
elections?
envision. Right. So, but you bring up a valid point, and we could either work on the wording of that or work on the wording of a kill switch.
I mean, I'm just going to tell you straight up, like, if there's an automatic, like, because the board changed, the contracts terminate, like, I'm not going to support that. Because, like I said, I think that's disruptive to the continuity of the organization. It needs to be either a fixed time limit or an affirmative decision of the board to terminate a contract.
Then I would like to see a way for a board to terminate contracts. I do think a time limit is still good. I still think that needs to be in there because we should be reviewing our contracts at least every other year. And again, as another fail-safe, so to speak. But I see your point as far as the disruptiveness is concerned. Again, just trying to think of future board once we're all gone.
So how would you have the language change? Take out the remaining term of the board, take that out. So basically you're saying the state board may not enter into any contract exceeding 2 years, period.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then
If you wanted that to be the hill they die on, then I wouldn't object to language that says, all contracts must reserve the right for the state board to terminate them with 30 days notice without penalty or something like that. But again, the idea that they're automatically going to terminate because the board changes in some, not entirely clear way. I mean, the whole thing about the end of the board term, again, if we start staggering the elections, then that's no longer a clear definition for one.
Well, the board term is 1 year. If we start staggering elections, then each board is only together for 1 year, right?
All right.
I mean, that just makes it that much worse, in my opinion. But again, the point is that that's not defined in itself, and even if it was, I think that automatic termination is disruptive to continuity. Again, absolutely reserve the right for the board to terminate contracts. Like, don't let us sign a contract that, says if you terminate it early, then you're going to pay the contractor $11 billion. Like, no, we should absolutely not do something like that. I mean, that's something I don't think anybody on the board would vote for in the first place, but putting that in the bylaws is not something I would object to, saying we absolutely cannot do something like that, thereby reserving the right to terminate any contract before that 2-year period is expired, or not even sign a contract for 2 years to start with. But again, the idea that the contract is going to terminate automatically, either within 1 year if we have staggered terms and the board term is only 1 year, or even 2 years, the 2-year thing's already in there, but having it be subject to the board and it automatically terminates and then requires an affirmative action to basically restore that contractual arrangement. I mean, let's imagine that we have a number of contract staff and they're all busy doing stuff, and all of a sudden there's an election, now their contract's terminated. You know what I mean? Like that's
I think we get the point, and it's a valid point. To that end, I believe Dylan was trying to say something.
No, I'm good, Dale. Thank you.
It's okay. Don't worry about it.
Okay, so why don't we work on wording then with that has the 2 years, which I still think is a wise idea.
I'm fine with the 2 years. The 2 years doesn't bother me.
Right, which is great. So we all agree on that. Let's work on wording then for a secondary kill switch, so to speak, that isn't dependent on new membership of the board, in any way, shape, or form. But I like your suggestion of you saying that we can end a contract with 30 days notice without any sort of penalty. I think would be fine, because again, that would allow any new board, and again, new board meaning if someone has to step down and someone comes in, or there's an election, or whatever reason, whatever constitutes a new board, it allows them to say, okay, let's look at the contracts we have. Does this one still work for us? Yes, it does. Does this one? No, it doesn't. You know, give 30 days notice to whomever the contract is with, and then go from there.
You guys will need to make sure that that says a contract for labor with 30 days notice without any penalty. Otherwise, you're never going to be able to sign a lease.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
a good point. Thank you.
All right, so why don't we plan on getting an revised, an amended version of this into the AOA Discord channel within the next week or so that we can all agree on it there and then get this out so that we can get it publicized. I was hoping we would be able to do this by the August meeting, but now if we're doing this,
Mr. Chair, I would suggest that if the only change that we're looking at is that one aspect of the bylaws, then the amendment to that proposal would be within the scope of notification, and we could do still be within that. Just because we provided notification doesn't mean we have to pass it word for word verbatim the way it was notified. Like, as long as we're not changing it in such a way that it goes what Roberts calls beyond the scope of notification, which at the end of the day is kind of, you know, a nebulous idea, but my opinion, and, you know, this will be up to the chair to make a ruling, and then there could be an appeal or whatever. But if that's all we're changing, that would be within scope.
Okay, great. All right, then we should still be able to get this one voted on at the August meeting then.
But
Awesome.
Mr. Chair, are we able to vote this evening? Oh, no, never mind. There's not been a month.
No, it hasn't. It hasn't been 30 days yet.
Regard.
No, yeah. Yeah.
I'm writing up an action item for this. Should this
Okay.
be myself, Amy, and Will working on this, or who would you like, Mr. Chair?
Yeah, sure. That's
I mean,
fine with me.
To be perfectly frank, I could make the argument that this is, as it's written, even within the scope of the notification we already did for codifying the committee process in the pre-convention AOA report. It's just dramatically simplifying the language and taking a lot of the constraints out of it.
Right.
I think I could make the argument that that's within scope, but since we're still working on the language.
Yeah,
Next
okay,
one.
so you're saying that we could vote on it, but we're not totally there yet.
No.
Yeah, and even if it is in scope, I think we should have the wording down before we vote on it.
Okay, yeah, I agree. All right, we'll do that. Okay, now, this is probably on me. We've worked on some kind of job description documents that I don't think I've shared on these on this next item. So I will share these out after this meeting, and then for our next meeting, I would like to have them as filled out as possible so that we can review them. Okay. And I'll get these out within the next day at the most so that we'll have them available to everybody.
This is a specific officer roles and responsibilities you're talking about?
Yeah, yep.
Okay.
So, and what we're trying to do there is just understand like the tasks, the resources, all those things that come together and how functions are performed. So I'll get that out tomorrow at the latest because I'm on vacation tomorrow. Social media policy framework discussion. I didn't really want to talk about the written policy yet because I don't think we really have anything that everybody agrees on yet. But one thing that I think we can agree on, which is the A portion of this, is that we want to change the Facebook group moderation to be the current board. And Will, you said that shouldn't be a hard thing to do, but I asked that we wait till this meeting to kind of make it official, right?
Yeah. And the reason why I think this is significantly different from the page is that there's an activity log for all moderation actions within a group. So there's accountability, and it's possible to undo moderation actions. Whereas when you do that kind of thing with a page, there's no activity log that keeps track of that kind of thing, and there's no way to undo it. So it's a significantly more unaccountable process to do it with the page. But I think for the group, it would be appropriate to have more moderators available and to give everybody the ability to do that. And then we can, if there's a problem with the way that someone's used that authority, then we can review that, potentially undo it if necessary.
Right, because there's an administrative log. So how quickly can we update that, do you think?
I can have that done within 5 minutes, being told to.
Okay. So do we need to vote on this, or we just do it?
We should vote on it, I think.
Okay.
It's a change in policy. And there is something that I want to bring up in the context of that discussion, but I would argue that it's not in order until someone makes a motion, although it's kind of in order still because someone did a moderation action in the last 2 weeks that I think probably exceeded the authority within the published rules on the group. And I think a conversation about that.
Okay.
I'll leave that to your discretion, Mr. Chair, if you want me to bring that up now or you want to wait until we're having that motion on the floor.
Well, we can have the motion to update the Facebook group. Somebody want to make that motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Amy, you had your finger up.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, because we've run over on our time, Mr. Griffith and I have a separate meeting, so we actually have to go.
Okay. We still have a quorum to vote if you two leave? I think we will, right?
Yes, we will.
Yes.
Can you vote on this real quick since it's been made a motion and seconded?
Before I still want to have a discussion though, so unless you call the question on me, I do have something I want to bring up here.
Is it all right? Well, I know what you're talking about, I think, and it's probably I did the action, if I'm not mistaken.
You did.
But how long do you think this discussion is going to be? Because they have to leave.
I mean, I understand. I just want to point out that we do have published rules, and if we're going to change those published rules, then that should also be a motion by the state board. And if we're going to be removing things that do not violate those rules and do not violate Facebook terms of service, then that's outside of the boundaries, and that's the kind of thing that really I should be undoing. Like, that's the reason that activity log's there. That's the reason that undo button is there. And the only reason we were about to have a meeting, I didn't want to make a big deal out of it until we could have a conversation.
Okay. We might have to table that until we're in our August meeting to have a detailed conversation with everybody present.
In that case, Mr. Chair, I think that it would be appropriate to undo that moderation action for the time being, because the rules that are published are what they are, and that post did not violate those rules. As vulgar and unbecoming and nasty as it was, it didn't violate any of our rules. It didn't violate Facebook terms of service. It's free speech for the membership, or the group members at least.
Yeah. Yeah, I know we're running late, Amy and Dylan. We can talk about, adding another group rule. There's only 4 of them today.
I mean, if somebody wants to scream from the rooftops, no, dear God, Will, don't undo that action, then, that's something that, again, I think is what we're here to talk about. But at the end of the day, I think that the way things stand now, the appropriate course of action would be for me to undo that moderation action and let that comment stand.
So I personally would rather not undo it because it was kind of disgusting and vulgar. But we don't have a rule specifically saying no disgusting, vulgar, or violent.
Violent would violate Facebook terms of service anyway.
Yeah.
And that's a separate issue. And, whether you agree with the terms of service or not, we have to keep those in mind so we don't get the group shut down. But
all right, well,
it wasn't.
Amy and Dylan, if you want to stay here for this, you're welcome to. If you don't, I understand.
It's not a matter of one. At this point, we actually have to go for an 8:30.
Okay. Then, all right. I'm sorry that we're running over.
That's okay. All right. Thanks, guys.
All right.
Amy,
Thank you.
Dylan.
Good night.
Bye.
Thanks, Amy.
All right. So, talking about our group rules, jump into Facebook and bring them up real quick. Give me a second.
Thank you. I was actually going to ask you if somebody could do that, so I appreciate it. Thank you, Bill.
I can do it, and just got to get into the group.
When were the group rules written?
Several years ago, I would guess.
Yeah, it's been a couple years.
So how were they determined? And was that all, everybody the board voted on the The rules for the Facebook group?
The Social Media and Marketing Committee made the determination.
John Marichek made the determination that that's
He's
how
not the only one on that committee.
The whole
Who else
committee
is on
did.
that committee?
I was on that committee. Nadine was on that committee. Dale, Nadine.
Okay, so it was a big committee. You guys all decided what the rules would be.
Yes.
Okay.
They're not really bad. I'm having a hard time bringing them up at the moment.
And they were intended to be very permissive. I mean, the idea was that I don't know where that.
Guys, don't you think one of the rules should be we reserve the right to remove any content we choose to at any point for any reason?
I have a problem with that.
Okay, well, I'd like to hear why, but go ahead.
I mean, the reason why. Okay, so if we're talking about Brandy, I think you're feeding back.
Somebody's causing a lot of feedback on here.
I'm really sorry, guys, but like I've gotta go. Like I gotta put my kids to bed.
All right.
This is sorry.
That makes 6 people if Brandy leaves. So I think that's still a quorum, though.
Yeah,
Enjoy
still
the
got
rest of
6.
your vacation, Brandy.
Hey, Brandy. All right, go ahead. Don't worry. Is that me causing that terrible feedback?
It's Brandy's actual mic.
It's probably I'm sorry. I'm going through my Bluetooth and everything, but I'm really sorry.
No, it's all good. We'll still have a quorum without you. We can do what we need to do.
Okay.
Thank you, Brandy.
Sorry, guys.
Brandy.
All right, but I can talk without it feeding back in my head. I mean, especially if we're talking about having 10 moderators and all 10 of those people get to say arbitrarily, I don't like this post, I'm removing it.
No, I agree.
Reserving the right to remove anything we want for whatever reason we want is entirely too broad. And again, the purpose of the rules, the reason they were written the way they were written was to have a very permissive atmosphere that just, tried to be honest and tried to keep things from getting personal and being nasty and, tried to avoid spam, but not trying to, control how everybody presented themselves or tone police or anything like that. So like that's the reason why the rules were written that way and why
Are we talking? We're talking about
the group.
Yes.
Right, we're talking about the group, and we're talking about the meme specifically that just said "come everywhere."
Yeah.
Okay, guys, I think that it's. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. 1 second. But what Will's saying is valid, and I'm having a hard time finding the damn rules.
I've got Mr. Chair. I apologize for interrupting. I have the rules pulled up in front of me. If you'd like me to read them.
Yeah, there's only 4, so go ahead.
Correct. Yep, there are 4. On the rules page, it says group rules from the admins. 1, no promotions or spam. Give more than you take to this group. Self-promotion, spam, and irrelevant links aren't allowed. Candidate posts are exempted from the self-promotion restriction. 2, honesty. Posts that are demonstrably false and misrepresent readily known facts, particularly those with the intention or effect of appropriating the Libertarian Party brand, will be subject to removal. 3, and anybody interrupt me if you want me to stop. 3, read the room. We try to maintain an open forum and not to limit posts, but please read the room. If you are blowing up group notifications with posts that do not generate responses, check yourself.
Now, pause right there. Joe, can I pause you right there?
Of course.
So thank you. When I removed that post, that comment to that post, that was the rule that most closely I found would violate, because reading the room, nobody in the room wants to see that. So that's why I felt pretty confident that rule 3 would be the best rule to kind of use as the reason for taking that down.
I don't think that would apply though, because if you read the explanation of what that rule is supposed to mean, it's let me give you the use case that caused it to be written and implemented. Is James Ugle. I'm sure many of you have seen his posts constantly talking about the droop quota and pure proportional representation and, you know, the male one party system and all that other nonsense. Like, he would post that shit once every day or once every 2 days at the most. And every comment was, dude, what the hell are you talking about? And followed by more, you know, disjointed, what the hell are you talking about kind of stuff. And that was the kind of thing that is not reading the room. One comment that, you know, again, is admittedly vulgar, doesn't contribute anything. I don't even know what the hell it was supposed to mean. Maybe that's just because I'm getting old. But, you know, that's not what that rule was meant to apply to, and not what the explanation applies to.
I like that rule. I like the way it sounds. Read the room. I like that, but it is very vague, and it is open to interpretation. And I think that you could make the argument it definitely does fit. Yo, man, read the room. That's not cool. Like, there's whatever. There could be kids in there. Who knows? I don't know. Women.
That's exactly where I'm going with this. I think if we added another, I don't remember, there's a limit to how long a rule can be in here, if I remember right. But I think that if we add, you know, no ingratuitous sex or violence to this rule, that it would kind of take all that bad stuff out with that rule without having to create a new rule.
Personally, think that might be even too specific. Because I'm with you on the free speech thing, dude. I really am. I think we should just put, like, any private property respecter, that we reserve the right to remove any content. And that doesn't mean that one person can just go, boom, I'm the arbiter of truth in this group. But maybe the social media committee, if that's reestablished or whatever, maybe 3 or 4 people can go, yo, man, did you see this?
Well, and
I don't think that this is appropriate.
Let me just clarify here. I'm not saying that we shouldn't have another rule that covers that. I'm not sure how to phrase it. I'm interested in, you know, kind of workshopping that a little bit. If somebody can come up with something nice and easy that's not too specific and also not too vague, that's fine. But, you know, again, my point here is that we want to have a rule that covers that, but not a rule that covers everything based on whatever one of the 10 people who are going to have moderator permissions in the group decide it means that day. You know what I mean?
Right, I understand that. We don't want it to be overly vague.
And it's a balancing act. It absolutely is. It always is when you're trying to come up with a rule. But, you know, at the end of the day, like, I don't have a problem. Like, that's another reason why I wasn't super eager to go ahead and push the undo button on that, because, you know, as much as I don't think it violated any of our posted rules, it didn't add anything to the discussion. And again, maybe that's just because I didn't fucking understand it. But, you know,
so
it was obviously gross. It was obviously, you know, not something that contributed to the discussion, but I don't think it necessarily violated any of the rules that we have posted. And that's the concern that I have. If we're going to give these permissions to everybody, that, you know, if we do something that causes content to be removed, but it doesn't violate a posted rule, I feel like, you know, another moderator is obligated at that point to step in and hit the undo button because it didn't violate a posted rule. And I don't want to have this kind of back and forth thing where, you know, one moderator removes it and another moderator undoes it, and then we just keep going back and forth with that, you know, until the trumpets.
Well, that's why I think maybe there should be a mechanism of, you know, at least 2 or 3 people or something. But again, there should be a mechanism to do it quickly.
I agree.
And I absolutely agree with that. That there.
Can I read a rule that we have in Delaware politics that kind of pertains to this? And it might be a little more than we want here, but here's the rule we came up with in Delaware politics. And this was a group of 9 administrators came up with these rules. But this rule it's called the graphic violence is not permitted rule. But here's the text of it. Images, videos, and links must abide to the forum's PG-13 rating. Language, sexual content, and violent content must conform to these guidelines. This also means no pictures, images, or videos of murder, death, or excessively graphic violence. So I know that posting that stuff would violate Facebook terms of service. But
yeah, but what if you wanted to show the Manning tapes? We need to be able to show that stuff in the group.
Yeah,
we need to show graphic violence sometimes. So my point is, we should be able, as a group, this is a very small group of people trying to do the same thing. We should have a committee that can go, guys, did you see that thing? I think that that's not appropriate. Can we get together and see if that's okay or not? That's all we got to do.
Right now, that committee is the 10 of us that are in this meeting.
I think that's a lot of people. I think that's also a lot of moderators. But that's fine. If it's everybody, it's everybody. That's whatever.
Can I make a suggestion that's I think is kind of in line with what Dave was suggesting earlier? That we make the fifth rule that the moderators of the group reserve the right to remove any content they deem objectionable, and
thank you.
The other members of the moderation team can then review that choice, and the entire team's decision will be binding.
Yeah, that's fine.
Any one of the moderators who sees something like that and says that's not cool, I'm removing that, but they then have to make sure that they've informed the board or the social media marketing committee if it gets reconstituted or whatever. Hey, I removed this. Is everybody okay with that? And if there's objections and those objections end up garnering majority, then the undo button gets hit and the content gets put back.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah,
does that make sense to you, Dave?
I like it.
All right, so I'm getting thumbs up from everybody. I don't know if we want to amend that and add that to the motion or what, but at the end of the day, I think that we've got an action plan here, and all 6 of us who are a quorum are on board with adding the entire state board to the moderator team and adding that 5th rule saying we can remove anything, but if it doesn't violate any of these rules and we all decide that it was fine, we can put it back.
Yes. Although we don't put that language into the rule itself. That's our motion, which we don't have a good way of cataloging motions. That's a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
But that'll come. But
on the public page, it should just say we reserve the right to remove any content we deem inappropriate. Period.
Yeah. And as a group of moderators, we understand that something could be overturned by the group.
I think we should put in there that the moderation team will review all such removals.
As page moderators, just a question: do we have to identify ourselves as page moderators? Is that something
Facebook will take care of that?
This group of moderators, these 10 people, or is it just going to be like a general kind of thing?
Facebook takes care of that.
It'll put a little. Yeah, it'll.
Yeah.
It lists the moderators in the group about section.
Okay, so we are listed.
Yeah.
So go.
Thank you.
The way you're going to list the language of that rule one more time.
I mean, it's basically going to be a catch-all rule, and that's what I'll call it. Right. The moderation team reserves the right to remove any post it deems objectionable, and the rest of the moderation team will review all such decisions.
All right, that's simple. That's good.
Is everybody cool with that?
Yeah.
Now, yes, sir.
So, did everybody vote affirmative? Can Dale just put the remaining people here all voted yes?
I think that counted as a roll call.
Okay.
I saw everybody.
All right, so yeah, I'll fill it in. Go ahead to announcements and upcoming events.
Okay. I think that's all we have for tonight. We got pretty close to the end before people dropped off. Anybody have any announcements they want to make? No. Events. We've already covered the 3 counties with events. Okay, I guess I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Actually, I do have one thing. I was typing. One thing that we had discussed, but it wasn't just we discussed amongst yourselves, and it was mentioned I think on Discord, but it hasn't been made official in a meeting as this. We had discussed possibly sending apology cards to the people who were not able to speak at our convention. That's something that we're still willing and able to do.
Who discussed it?
I personally already did that. I reached out to everybody we invited to speak that didn't get a chance to speak and said sorry about our convention.
Right, and I remember you doing that. Should we do something officially as a board?
I think that's pretty official. He's part of the board.
I understand that, and I'm not trying to dismay what Will has done. Obviously, it was the right thing, and I thank him publicly for it. I'm just saying, do we want to do anything more? Do we want to do
Write a little
anything
personal note. Is that what you're saying?
Right.
Well, how many people are we talking about?
Well, there was I'm going to butcher names, but Dan Fishman, who did get to speak a little bit, Spike Cohen, who did get to speak a little bit, Susan Hogarth, who did get to speak a little bit, Adam didn't get to speak at all. Kim Petters, no, she wasn't going to speak this. I'm trying to remember who
Adam
was
Windett.
supposed to speak. Adam Windett didn't get to speak at all. Out in Los Angeles,
Angela
Chair of
McCardle.
Los Angeles County.
Angela
LP,
McCardle.
Angela?
Angela. She didn't get to speak. So I'd have to go back and look at the minutes, but no, I think, you know, I understand, and Will, thank you very much for what you did, but I think it would be a good move on our part as an entire board to send cards of apology.
Apology for not being able to speak?
Correct.
For having our convention get out of hand?
Well,
and I wouldn't put it in those words, Mary Pat, but the fact is they were invited to speak and they didn't get to speak. You know, some of them did, but it wasn't as designed, and some of them didn't get to speak at all.
so as opposed to an apology, I would probably rather see it more as a thank you for, you know, being ready to speak, and, you know, maybe like a thank you card for being there, for being available to us, even though we didn't give you an opportunity to talk.
You can still, I think you should say something about, I'm sorry we ran out of time and you didn't get to speak, because, I mean, well, Angela came basically for Day of Liberty, so she didn't fly all the way out here just to speak at our convention. She came out to speak there, and we just included it in our convention.
Right.
Most of the other people were local, not too local. Susan was coming anyway, I think. But I would still say something about thank you for taking the time out to come. Sorry we ran out of time and you didn't actually get to speak. You know, without saying because we went off the rails, but just say sorry we ran out of time and you didn't get to speak. I hope we can do it another time or something.
I think that would be excellent word.
Couldn't have said it better myself, Mary Pat. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Thank you.
So what do we do? Buy like a $5 box of, you know, little cards, note cards, and then just, you know, some stamps and mail them?
No, don't buy stamps. I've got lots of stamps that belong to LPD.
Okay, well then.
10 years ago, somebody kept sending me stamps for the LPD. I don't even know who it was, but they'd send an envelope with you know, a dozen stamps in them. And they're forever stamps, so they'll last forever.
Oh, that's good.
So don't buy stamps. I'll get them to you somehow if I don't see it. Well, I'll see you at a meeting probably sometime this month.
So you want
I would say maybe we should all try to sign them as well, if possible.
Well, then that would be at the August meeting, and we're all together. Okay.
Yep. Or if we can do it at each county meeting.
Yeah, somebody bring.
Well, we already had the Newcastle and Kent. Oh no, this is a new month coming up.
No, this is a new month. Next month.
Yeah. Okay.
A week from today is a new month.
Yeah.
Can I just can I call not to take away from what we were just talking about? I didn't finish the rules on the Facebook. Are we good on the Facebook rules now?
Yeah, we do.
Because you stopped me after 3, so I never read 4. That's all.
Yeah, you can read 4 if you want. I don't object to that. Just to close it out.
Yeah. Okay. My phone screen locked, and I didn't even notice that it was still up. Number 4 is personal attacks. Generally speaking, we should be attacking the argument, not the person. This will be especially be enforced for attacks against individuals who are not public figures or group members. And I think we kind of all agree on that anyway.
Yeah, that's fine. All right, so we're going to add the 5th rule. So,
all right, so I added everybody as a moderator. I'm writing the 5th rule now. Title is catch-all. Description is the moderation team reserves the right to remove any content not conducive to the function of the LPD. The full moderation team will review any such removals, and content can be restored if necessary.
All right, so the one last thing I want to say to the remaining people here is if you're moderating something, you can hide it. You don't have to delete it. So that's the first thing I want to say. If there's like a vulgar comment or something, you don't have to delete it. I deleted, and you say that even deleting it's undoable, Will?
Yeah.
But hiding it is probably just as good. So we
So
have a record that it happened and it's there.
If I look down the left-hand side of the manage group tools, there's an activity log.
Mhm.
And the activity log, when you scroll down through the various activities, right here for July 21st, Bill Hines deleted such and such. You can see details, and it'll show you where it was.
Now it wouldn't
and
let me
you can
undelete
undo
that.
it.
Because after I deleted it, I thought I was reading it and I was like, well, I probably should have hid that instead of delete it, but it didn't let me undelete it myself. So only the administrator probably can undelete, not the whole
That's
team.
possible.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I've got an undo button here.
I'm looking through it, like, not that it's a huge thing for me, but I'm looking through just on the rules on my phone, and I don't see anything that says hide. Where?
Well, you're not, if you're a moderator and if you click the 3 buttons on somebody's comment, it gives you the options what you can do.
Yeah, I see that, and I have that, but I don't have anything that says hide. I have remove, mute, limit activity, delete and remove member, delete post and block user, turn off commenting, slow down comments. That's all I have as far as like removing anything.
Are you looking at are you looking at a post or are you looking at a comment?
I was on a post. Is it just comments?
Yeah, I think it's just comments that you can hide.
I got you. Okay, never mind. No problem.
I can hide ads. If I get an ad, I can hide those.
Well, no, we're not talking about hiding an ad on your Facebook feed. We're talking about in the group itself.
Yeah.
So like, I'm looking at the group, and on top is Pug Kirby's post about Brady saying he's not going to run again. If I click on that, even as the administrator, I have the option to remove the post, remove and block author, turn on post approval, turn off commenting, slow down commenting, limit activity, report post to group admins, find support or report post. So I don't have the ability to hide entire posts. However, if I go down to the comments and click on the dots there, I have pin this comment, remove comment, hide comment, report comment to group administrators, remove comment, block author, mute member, limit activity.
You just reminded me of something reading those, Will. In that catch-all rule, you mentioned, well, number one, you mentioned, oh man, what was it? The thing about approval, turning on approvals. So maybe in that catch.
That's
well,
typically one of the penalties that get imposed. Like,
well, yeah, here's where I'm going. Like
radios at Trump rallies.
Well, here's what I was thinking.
You just cut out there, or maybe I just cut out there. I think I just cut out. My whole fucking Discord froze.
I mean,
I'm not familiar with them since I'm somewhat new here.
Okay. Well,
back.
I had curious. Okay.
Yeah, sorry, my Discord crashed. What were you saying?
Dave, have you met James Zubel?
have I met him?
Yeah.
No, I'm just aware of him from social media.
Well,
Okay.
What were we
I'll
asking?
introduce-
about?
Yeah, so
were
back to
asking
business for a second. Orders of the day, if I may.
Yeah.
What I was saying is in the catch-all rule, we might want to put another sentence that says repeat offenders may be required to have posts approved by moderators, something like that. So if somebody's constantly posting bad stuff, we'll just,
I think that's showing your hand too much and just giving them too much. If this is somebody who you think is going to be incessant about things, like I would just, if you wanted to add anything, and this is just my opinion, I would say, we reserve the right to boot anybody from our group. This is basic property rights stuff.
We've done that already. We have not at this point spelled out the penalties, but we have done that kind of thing already. Like Google's posting permissions so that he needed to get approval before he could post anything. There was also a woman leading up to the election who kept posting over and over again just videos of Trump rallies, like no commentary on it or anything. Just
right, exactly. That
Trump
is
rallies.
no place.
And like it happened a few times, and I was like, all right, fine, whatever you want to do.
Is someone talking?
Kept doing it over and over and over again.
Yeah, I can't hear Will.
I'm not muted or anything. I don't know what's up with you.
Will and Dave are talking over each other.
Well, I can hear Will. Well, I can actually hear. I can hear everybody. So
I heard you, Will.
Yeah.
Okay, but
All right.
either way, I turned on post approval for both of them at one point, and the default is just to do it for 30 days.
Right.
And then you can do it again, or you can boot somebody out of the group, or you can ban them from the group.
Yeah, just so I'm being clear, I think you made the right decision with Ogle. I think you made the right decision with Trump guys. I'm just saying I don't know if we need to spell that out for everybody.
No.
Hey, if you're not good in here, then we can make it so that you don't have, posting. We don't need to say that.
No.